constitutional commissions. The Legislative, Senate, and House of Representatives, party list nominee. Executive, the President. Judiciary, 1 Chief Justice, 14 Associate Justice, Constitutional Commission, COA, Chairman, 2 no 2 again. The Legislative, Senate, House of Representatives, and party list nominees. So the Legislative, Senate is natural-born citizen, needs to be 35 years of age, able to read and write, registered voter of the Philippines, resident of not less than 2 years preceding the day of election. Again, the Senate, 35 years old, resident of not less than 2 years preceding of the election. The House of Representatives, 25 years of age. Registered voter on the district, resident of not less than 1 year. Again, House of Representatives, 25 years old. Registered voter on the district, resident of not less than 1 year preceding the day of elections. The party list nominees, 25 years of age, registered voter on the district, resident of not less than 1 year on the preceding day of elections. In case of a nominee of the youth sector, he must at least be 25 years but not more than 30 years old on the day of the election, a bona fide member of the party or organization which he seeks to represent for at least. Okay, again, the legislature at least 90 days preceding the day of election. Again, the legislative is the Senate, House of Representative, party list nominees. So Senate is a natural-born citizen, 35 years of age, resident of not less than 2 years preceding in the day of election. The House of Representatives, at least 25 years of age, registered voter on the district, a resident of not less than 1 year the preceding day of election. The House of Representatives must be 25 years of age, registered voter on the district, resident of not less than 1 year preceding of the day of elections. In case of the nominee of the youth sector, he must at least be 25 years but not more than 30 years old. A bona fide member of the party or organization which he seeks to represent at least 90 days preceding the day of the election. The Legislative, Senate is composed of 24 senators. The House of Representatives shall be composed of not more than 250 members unless provided by the law. The party list is 20% of the total numbers of representatives, composed of Speaker of the House of Representatives. Again, Legislative, the Senate is composed of 24 senators. House of Representatives shall be composed of not more than 250 members unless provided by law. Party list is 20% of the total number of representatives, composed of Speaker of House and Senate President. The term, Senate is 6 years but no more 2 years consecutive terms. The House of Representatives, 3 years but not more than 3 more consecutive terms. The salaries determined by law exception, no increase in said compensation shall take effect until after the expiration of the full term, immune from arrest from all offenses punishable by not more than 6 years imprisonment, so as long as the Congress is in session, speech in debate clause, so as long as the Congress is in session, and any speech made during such are deemed to be in accordance with their official acts. The prohibitions. Incompatible office, a post which a member cannot accept unless he waives or forfeits his seat in Congress in the contrary sense. If he waives or forfeits his seat, he may accept the other post since the incompatibility arises only because of his simultaneous membership in both prohibited. Kailangan lang niya i-forfeit yung position niya para ma-allow siya mag-hold ng ibang office. The House of Representatives, forbidden office. One to which member cannot be appointed, even if he is willing to give up his seat of Congress. The efforts of his resignation from the Congress is the loss of his seat therein, but his disqualification for the forbidden office nevertheless remains. The prohibition lies in the fiduciary knowledge of nature of the relationship involved. In Article 10, Section 5 of the 1987, the matters requiring the majority vote of the Senate extend the suspension of the writ of the habeas corpus and martial law in a presidential proclamation. So, in executive, the president need to be natural born citizen, registered voter, able to read and write, and a resident for at least 10 years immediately preceding such elections. So 40 years old, while the vice president is a natural born citizen, registered voter, able to read and write, and the resident for at least 10 years immediately preceding 40 years of age. So they have the same qualification with the president. So the term, okay. Uh, in composition, the executive, the president and the vice president, composed of the executive is composed of the president and the vice president. The privileges, the term, president 6 years term and not eligible for a re-election. The vice president 6 years term but cannot serve for 2 consecutive terms. Again, the privileges, the president is 6 years term and not eligible for re-election. The vice president is 6 terms but not serve for 2 consecutive terms. The salaries determined by law exception, no increase in said compensation shall take effect until after the expiration of the full term, and also not to receive during their tenure any other emolument from the government or any other source. Presidents mean during his tenure, but after his immunity is waived. However, rule on state immunity applies here. This does not apply to the VP. So, executive privileges pertains only to the information in not of the office must conform with these commandments. Communication must relate to the quintessential, non-delegable presidential power. Advisor means be in operation. Proximity with the president communication must be authored by a close. The presidential communication privilege remains a qualified privilege that may be overcome by showing adequate need such that the information sought likely contains important evidence, and by the unavailability of the information elsewhere by an appropriate investigation authority. So both president and vice president shall not hold any other office of employment during their tenure. Include members of the cabinet members, their disputes, and their assistance. Exception, ex officio. Ex officio, which means from office or by virtue of office, it is merely an authority derived from official character, although not expressly conferred, but annexed to the official position. Additional note, post held by the executive official concerned without additional compensation as provided by law and as required by the primary function as his office do not fall under the definition of any other office within the contemplation of the constitutional prohibition. It was held that the ex officio position being actually and in legal contemplation part of the principal office, it follows that the official concerned has no right to receive additional compensation for his services in the said position. The reason is that these services are already paid for and covered by the compensation attached to his principal office. Any appointed official, including cabinet members, may hold any other office or employment in the government or any subdivision, agencies, or instrumentality thereof, including government-owned or controlled corporation or their subsidiaries if allowed by law or by the primary functions of his position. Okay, sa judiciary na naman tayo. So, the uh, judiciary must be at least 40 years of age, must have been a judge for 15 years or more in the lower court or engaged in a practice of law, member of the Philippine Bar, citizens of the Philippines, must be a person of proven competence, integrity, probity, and the judiciary post of one chief justice and 14 associate justices. Again, one chief justice and 14 associate justices. So the term shall serve until they are 70 years of age or they are incapacitated. So the salaries shall be fixed by law during their continuance in office. Their salary shall be not decreased. Take note that it means na matax pa rin sila sa sweldo nila, pero hindi pwede mag-create ng law para mabawasan ang justiciable tax. So the fiscal autonomy meaning ma-dispose ang funds nila that if it will ask. So, judiciary shall not hold any office in their office or employment during their tenure. So, includes member of the cabinet, members, their deputies, or their assistants. So, delaying their decision to the prescribed constitutional mandate or not rendering decision within the constitutional mandate. So, judiciary is to exercise original jurisdiction. Okay, sa ano naman tayo? Constitutional Commissions. COA. National Board of Citizens, at least 35 years of age. Certified Public Accountant, not less than 10 years. Okay. COA, Natural Born Citizen, at least 35 years of age. Certified Public Accountant, not less than 10 years. So, COMELEC, 35 years of age then. Same sila. Then, the Commission on or Civil Service, 35 years old then. Okay. On composition, the Constitutional Commissions. The COA, chairman, one chairman and two commissioners. COA, one chairman, COMELEC, one chairman and 6 commissioners. CSC, one chairman and 2 commissioners. Again, COA, one chairman and 2 commissioners. COMELEC, one chairman and 6 commissioners. Civil Service, one chairman and 2 commissioners. So the COA chairman shall serve 7 years and another commissioner shall serve 3 years. Okay. The COA chairman shall serve 7 years. Commissioner serve for 5 years. Tapos yung another commissioner 2 years. COMELEC 3 members shall serve 7 years while 2 member for 5 years and the last member is 3 years. So same sila. So, chairman, 7 years. Yung member niya, yung isa 5, yung isa 3. So, same with CSC. The salary shall be fixed by law during their tenure in the office. Their salary. The fiscal autonomy meaning this was ang ilang funds. Okay. So, for all concoms, shall not hold any other office or employment during their tenure. Okay. The legislative important to remember. The House of Representative, Electoral Tribunal, and Senatorial Electoral Tribunal, 3 of whom shall be justices of the Supreme Court to be designated by the Chief Justice. The Senior Justice and the Electoral Tribunal shall be in chairman. The remaining 6 shall be members of Senate of the House of Representative as the case will be chosen the basis of proportional representation from the political parties and parties of organization registered under the party-list system. The nature, power, function, and judicial the nature, power, functions, and judicial review of decision of each rate and set. The sole judge of all contests relating to the election returns and qualification of the respective members. In as such, the Electoral Commission is a constitutional regulation function of mandate of the Commission. In the absence of showing that each state has committed grave abuse of discretion amounting to the lack of jurisdiction, there is no occasion for the court to exercise the corrective power of the each state. Types of appointment, the regular, when the President appoints the requires the confirmation by Commission while Congress is in session. That is regular. So, regular, when the President appoints and requires the confirmation by Commission while Congress is in session. So, ad interim, of course, when Congress is not in session. It is permanent in nature, meaning when an interim appointment is made by President is temporarily effective at once even without confirmation.